Hey guys, Ambience here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to beat Nights 1 and 2 on Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. Now, before you guys ask, because I have a feeling I'm going to get at least one comment about this below, yes, the guide on Fazbear Fever is still going to happen. I was actually having quite a tough time beating it and talking at the same time, so it is going to take a little longer, so I figured, hey, why not move on to FNaF 3, because I'd rather move on to a different game than just not upload for a full week. So, yeah, here we go. So, obviously, Night 1 and 2, I'll be covering both, since there's no threats on Night 1. Obviously, they are very simple. I'm basically just going to go over a lot of the basic mechanics of FNaF 3 and what you're going to need to know in order to succeed at this game. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So, obviously, you have your maintenance panel, which can only be opened while on the left side of the screen, and you have your monitor, which can only be opened on the right side of the screen. There are 10 cameras, in addition to 15 vent cameras. You can double click on one of these cameras in order to seal that vent, as you can see here, which only takes 1 or 2 seconds. Only one vent can be sealed at a time, however. You can see which vents are open and which ones are sealed by looking at the map down here. See, it's red right now if I double click cam 11. See, now it's red, and cam 14 turns back to green. Alright. So let's go ahead and look around. So here are the significance of the cameras. I'm going to be pointing out which cameras Phantom animatronics can spawn on, which ones you want to avoid, and which ones you want to try to keep Springtrap in. So cam 1 is the closest one to your office. Cam 2 is right outside of cam 15, the vent here. Cam 3 and cam 4, not much use for these. They're not super far away from your office. There's no vents positioned directly next to them, so I just wouldn't worry about them very much. Cam 5 right in the center. You've got cam 13, which is the vent connected to it. Then you've got cam 6 and cam 7 over here, right next to each other. Cam 12 is connected to cam 7, I believe. We've got cam 8, which is kind of in the middle of everything. No connected vents. We've got cam 9, which is connected to cam 11. And finally, we have cam 10, which is connected to cam 14. So cam 11 and 12 will lead right here to here, right here. Cam 1, or right outside of it. And cam 13 will lead here, right in front of your window. So if Springtrap goes through that vent, then you'll see him looking right here through the window. Cam 14 and 15 both lead directly into your office from a unseen vent on the right side. You can kind of see it a little bit over there, I guess. But basically, Springtrap will just pop out in the office and immediately kill you if he goes through those vents. So these are the two vents that you absolutely want to keep him from entering the most. So let's talk about where we want to keep Springtrap. So we're going to be keeping him in a sort of confined area, and we're going to be switching that confined area if he happens to escape, which he inevitably will. A lot of the time he will escape on harder difficulties, and there's not really anything you can do about it, but we have several backup strategies for that. So first of all, you're going to want to try to keep him in cam 10. Ideally, you would like him to spawn in cam 8, 9, or 10. I believe that he can spawn in cams 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. It is random. He cannot spawn any closer than that, so don't worry about him spawning in these 4 cameras. So yeah, we are going to want to try to keep him in cam 10 as much as possible. We're going to do that, of course, by playing audio. So we'll lure him one room by one over to cam 10, unless he happens to spawn here or in cam 9, which is right next to it. We're going to seal cam 14, since that's one of the most dangerous vents, and it's the one right next to cam 10. If Springtrap goes into that vent while it's sealed, that's great for us, because he's just wasting time and not getting anything done. So he will go to cam 9. We'll try to get him back to cam 10. If he goes to cam 8, that's fine too. We'll lure him back to cam 9, then to cam 10. If he does escape, however, and he moves closer, then we're going to fall back and try to keep him in cam 7, and we're going to seal cam 12. So if he happens to escape here and he starts walking up, obviously his vent should be sealed, so he'll have to go through the rooms. If he reaches here, seal cam 13, just so he can't immediately warp to the window. If you can't get him back to cam 7 and he goes up, then try to keep him in cam 2 with cam 15 sealed. If he happens to escape and you see him standing by this door over here, then as a last-ditch effort, you can try to keep him in cam 1. So that's going to be the general strategy that we're going to apply to all of the nights, even Nightmare Mode, otherwise known as Night 6. So hopefully you guys have a little bit of a better understanding how that's going to work. We got an end of night minigame here. Might as well play through this. Don't think there's any way to skip it. Let's follow the purple Freddy. What could possibly go wrong? These minigames are not related to trying to get the good ending of the game, by the way. They're just end-of-night minigames. I will, by the way, also be doing a tutorial on how exactly to get the good ending, the most efficient path that you can do it, and try to make it real simple for you guys. That will be coming after I make guides for all of the main game. So, yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for that. Alright, night 2 here. So, there is going to be threat here. There are going to be 3 animatronics that are mainly active, and those are going to be Springtrap, the main threat, Nightmare Balloon Boy, and Nightmare Mangle. So let's talk about how those work and what cameras they spawn on and how to counter them. So, Phantom Mangle can only spawn in one camera, and that is Cam 4. Thankfully, Cam 4 is one of the least important cameras in the game, and we're barely ever going to check this, and we're certainly not going to check it if we think Mangle may be there. So basically, every 20 seconds, then Phantom Mangle has a chance, based on AI, to appear in Cam 4. I do believe that if you happen to look at Cam 4 and Mangle's hanging like right here, you can pull down the monitor, and if you do it quickly, then you might be able to avoid it. Otherwise, Mangle will spawn right here next to the window and will start making a bunch of noise. And I think prevents us from doing anything. I've actually only gotten jump scared by Phantom Mangle like once or twice, so I'm honestly not 100% sure what it does. But we shouldn't have to worry about that anyway, because we're not really going to be checking Cam 4. It is also important to note that Phantom Mangle cannot spawn before 1 AM, regardless of the night. Phantom Balloon Boy, meanwhile, is a bit more troublesome. He can spawn on any camera in the entire building. You'll be able to see him immediately, because his face will be pressed up against here. But if we flip down the camera quick enough, then we can avoid getting jump scared by him. Springtrap here yet? Might as well reboot the video. Your priorities, by the way, for rebooting systems most of the time are going to be audio devices, ventilation, and camera systems in that order. Audio devices is the most important thing to reboot in pretty much all situations. Springtrap is in Cam 5. Let's play the audio in Cam 8 and start luring him back to Cam 10. In the meantime, I am going to go ahead and seal this vent so that when we lure him back to Cam 09, he can't do anything tricky. There was Phantom Balloon Boy. I will explain what I just did there in a second. See if we can get Springy to come over here. Nope, he's just gonna sit there. Come on. Come over here. It's nice over here. There we go. Alright, so Springtrap is in Cam 10, as you can see. We're gonna seal Cam 14, and we're set up for the night. Let's go ahead and reboot the ventilation. The ventilation will occasionally fail. Just scroll over and reboot it. You don't have to do it immediately, so don't freak out. But, you know, whenever you can. Just make sure that you get to it eventually. Oh, he's still there. I barely missed him. Springtrap likes to hide in the cameras, by the way, so be sure to look around a little bit. I don't have the exact locations where he's going to pop up in every camera memorized, but basically just, like, look around the room and see if you can find him. There are also images of his appearance in the cameras on the wiki as well. So let's go back to Phantom Balloon Boy real quick. So, Phantom Balloon Boy, what you can do when he appears on the camera with his face pressed up against it is you can either pull the monitor down and flip it back up, which is what I prefer to do on later nights because it's so quick. I just do it automatically, even if I don't see him there because of how little the reaction time is on Nightmare mode. Then what I'll do is I'll just, pretty much every time I pull the camera up, I'll just immediately flip it back down and pull it up again. It only takes less than a second, and it can usually save you from Phantom BB jump scaring you. There are 4 ways in total to avoid him, one of which I just mentioned. The other 2 ways are clicking to another camera. So let's say I pull this up, he's on Cam 10. I'll click on Cam 9, go back to Cam 10, and they'll be gone. You can also, I believe, actually click on the same camera again, and he will disappear. I'm not exactly sure why that works, but I believe it does. I do have to double check that, so I wouldn't recommend using that method because I haven't tested it in a very long time. And the 4th way is by clicking on Map Toggle and going over to the vents. Phantom Balloon Boy will never appear in the vent cameras. None of the Phantoms will, so don't worry about that. It's only on the main cameras. So yeah, clicking on Map Toggle is another possible thing you can do if your mouse is in the right spot. This is mostly useful if for whatever reason you're trying to play audio, like the instant that you open your monitor and then you notice Phantom BB's there. You don't have time to move your mouse over here, so you just move it down a bit and click Map Toggle. No big deal. So those are all 4 ways to counter Phantom BB that I know of. If Phantom BB does appear, then you'll get the monitor forced down and you will be jump scared. This will cause a ventilation error, which will cause Springtrap to start moving toward you, of course, and you won't be able to do a whole lot then. Go ahead and reboot the ventilation. It's failing by itself anyway. So yeah, Night 2 is very simple, guys. We're just going to keep him trapped in Cam 10 if possible. He's not there anymore. Let's play audio. Oh, no, he is there. I haven't played FNaF 3 in a really long time, so I usually forget where he is. Alright, guys, there he is. He's in the vent. As you can see, it is red. We have nothing to worry about while he's in the vent. We're going to go reboot the audio because it obviously is starting to run out. After a certain number of uses, the audio will run out. I believe it's 7 on night 2. I'm not 100% sure about that. All I remember is that it is 2 on both night 5 and 6. But you have, I believe, 7 uses of it on night 2, and it just keeps going down every night. Also, try not to stare at the cameras for too long, if possible, like you can on later nights if you know how to deal with Foxy, but I wouldn't recommend just like completely staring at it the whole time. Foxy's not active on night 2, but the camera systems will start to fail if you do look at them for too long. So if for whatever reason you don't think you're going to have time to reboot, then yeah, just be sure to hold the camera down and take a breather for a few seconds. It is almost 6 a.m. now. Sometimes Springtrap will just automatically move back to that room, which is why I recommend waiting a second before actually playing the audio. Sometimes he'll just come back on his own, and you won't have to waste an audio charge. Should be rolling around to 6 a.m. any second now. Basically, guys, just make sure you don't lose track of where Springtrap is. I recommend looking up those images on the wiki in order to actually be able to figure out where he is standing in all of the cameras at all times. He has 2 positions on each camera, so it can be a little tricky to find him sometimes. He's a bit like Freddy from the first game. It's hard to see him in the dark sometimes. But, yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about it, guys. Night 2 is, of course, very easy. Just make sure you don't lose track of where Springtrap is. Make sure you know where he spawns on all of the cameras. And make sure to watch out for Phantom Balloon Boy. I would recommend being ready to pull the monitor back down or click vent toggle, map toggle rather, whatever you prefer, basically. And make sure to seal at least one vent. Even if you don't think Springtrap's going to go into a vent, regardless of where he is, like, it's an absolute waste of time to not have one vent sealed. I recommend doing it at the start of the night. If you're going to try to keep him in Cam 10 most of the time, then I would recommend just sealing Cam 14. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this guide. I hope it helped you, and I will see you in the next one.